Hello, fourth grade readers. It's Mrs. Lamondo, and I'm back to bring you your Fontes and Pinnell mini lesson of the day. So let's get started. Let me share my screen with you. This one. All right, let's get going. Today we're going to continue looking at author or illustrator's notes and afterwards. First, let's listen to the book, Hands Around the Library. As we listen, think about what you're learning. Also, I'd like you to think about the author's note that you'll hear at the very end.
Hands Around the Library, Protecting Egypt's Treasured Books. Written by Susan L. Roth and Karen Leggett Aborea. Collages by Susan L. Roth. Dial Books for Young Readers, an imprint of Penguin Group USA.
Copyright
2012. Once upon a time, not a long time ago, many people in Egypt were sad and sometimes angry because they were not free to speak or vote as they wished or gather in groups.
They knew about freedom, but only from books or the internet or whispering
inside these safe walls of our Alexandria Library. Egypt's young people decided it was finally time to let their voices be heard. So they began to march in the streets. First, they marched in Cairo, but soon they marched in Alexandria too. They raised their voices, and many others followed. I'm a part of this story. I marched in Alexandria too. I was excited and hopeful. But I was also scared. In other parts of our city, some of the protesters had acted in anger. They had set fire to cars and to a police station. As we marched towards the library, I grew worried. What if they tried to burn it down? Our Alexandria Library, built on the ashes of the ancient famous one, is the most beautiful modern building in all of Egypt. Our ancient Egyptian stories are kept alive here in the books and in the carved stone and shimmering glass of the building itself. We were free inside the library. Even when we were not free outside, we could not let our Alexandria Library burn. I was surrounded by the sounds of pounding feet and shouting voices. Maybe it was the noise of peaceful people demanding freedom. But maybe the people were so angry they would hurt each other, hurt me, or hurt our library. Thousands of us were marching for freedom as it caught on a wave from the Mediterranean Sea. Dr. Ismail Sarageldin, the library director, saw us approaching.
The library has no gates that can be locked,
he called out.
The doors are all glass.
There is nothing that prevents anybody from destroying this building with all its treasures except the will of the people. The marchers pushed together, closer and closer to the library. The crowd surged around me on the sidewalk, shouting and waving signs. We were in front of the library. We were on the library steps. The shouting grew louder. Then a young man broke from the marchers. He ran up the steps to Dr. Sarageldin. And he took hold of the director's hand. A young girl followed. She took Dr. Sarageldin's other hand. And then there were 5, then 6, then 7, then 10, all holding hands, protecting the library. Then I too broke into the chain that was stretching farther and farther, turning around the library, reaching toward the sea. When some of the marchers spread a huge Egyptian flag across the steps, people cried together, "We love you, Egypt!"
A
A little boy held up another Egyptian flag. It was twice as tall as he was. He waved it right in front of Dr. Ismail Sarageldin.
A
A smile crinkled the director's face as he spoke.
Thank you for protecting our library with us. Go forth into the journey of your lives and create a better world. Thank you,
He said, his voice catching a little.
Thank you
from the
bottom of my heart.
That day, the whole world heard his words and watched our Alexandria Library, our Biblioteca Alexandrina, with all our people holding hands in the perfect circle surrounding it. And because together we all protected our Biblioteca Alexandrina once upon a time, not a long time ago. The library still stands today, holding all of our stories. Library Director Ismail Sarageldin, gray jacket in the middle, waves to Egyptian marchers outside the library while young people wave their own flags of support. Left, young Egyptians break away from the march to hold hands around the library and its planetarium. Right, Egyptians of all ages and religions hold a giant national flag on the steps of the library. Left, former librarian Shema Sayed in the Children's Library. Right, Young People's Library in the Biblioteca Alexandrina. Left, the slanted roof of the library allows sunlight to fill the space inside. Right, the granite wall outside the library displays hand-carved characters and letters from all cultures, alphabets, and eras. An architect from Norway designed the library to give visitors a feeling of openness and discovery on each floor. A wide highway separates the library from the Mediterranean Sea. The highway was solidly packed with marchers during the 18 days of protest before Hosni Mubarak resigned as president of Egypt. The end.
Wow. So that was a really inspiring story that took place in a culture very different from our own. How did the author's note really add to what we read about? Kind of gave us some context, right, into the story that we were reading. So let's summarize what we read today. Today we learned that an afterword is similar to an author's note. Often an afterword is written by someone other than the author. When you read independently today, notice if your book has an author's note, an illustrator's note, or an afterword. I may ask you if your book has one of these elements when we are together. So today, you are going to read 20 minutes on Raz Kids, and don't forget to complete your reading response. Bye, readers. See you next time.